Yes. Okay, so
Yes.
okay, so today we'll start off with like major topic in advanced analytics. So that is into advanced statistics. Now this topic is called as regression. So now regression is a very important topic here, and this is this is also you will find out in machine learning. We use quite a lot this regression and all. So now regression is actually a predictive modeling technique. So it's a predictive modeling technique which investigates the relationship between dependent and independent variables. So using this regression, we can predict the relationship between dependent and independent variable. So now regression, like here we can it's a predictive modeling technique means we can predict the values, like we can predict the future, like saying okay, based on some given independent variable, what will be the corresponding dependent variable on that, like predicting the market price, okay, predicting the sales value. So predicting all these like continuous data we can do using this regression. So it tells you like how things are related with one another, saying like how income and age is related with one another. Like if somebody tells me okay, this is the age, okay, what will be the income, so we can easily predict if we understand the relationship between independent and dependent variables. So it's a predictive modeling technique which investigates the relationship between independent and dependent variable. Okay, so are you guys getting this?
Yeah. It's an regression is investigating the relation between independent and independent variable, right?
Yeah. Okay, but it's actually predictive modeling technique. So if we are able to understand the relationship properly, so if we are accurately if we are approximately able to map the relationship between independent and dependent, we can easily tell okay how things are going to be in the future. So that's what we can do using regression. So now here, okay, before getting into regression, to make you understand one more thing. Okay, so here okay, next one is uses of regression analysis. So now regression analysis is used for predictive predictions and all, like forecasting future opportunities and risks which are there in future. So we can forecast the future, saying okay, what kind of what kind of opportunities are there, or what kind of risk are there. So those kind of thing we can predict. Example, like we can forecast the number of shoppers who will pass in front of a particular billboard and use that data to estimate the maximum impressions to bid for an advertisement. So like we can forecast or we can predict, saying okay, how many shoppers are going to pass in front of a particular billboard by taking some data and estimating the impressions on the advertisement. So this is nothing but like predictions. Similarly, like we can check strength of predictor, like how strong something is related with one another, like how strong sales and marketing is related, like that how strong age and income is related. So all these things also we can analyze. Also correcting errors means like if something is already there being proven that okay, this is the scenario, we can just try to again understand the relationship between things and prove if the scenario is correct or wrong. Those kind of thing also we can find out using regression. Now these are certain use cases of regression. Now types of regression, if you see, there are various types now, saying linear regression, logistic regression, polynomial regression, stepwise, ridge, lasso, elastic net. So these are different types of regression. Most widely used out of this is linear and logistic regression. These are the most widely used regression here. So here going ahead, we are going to study linear and logistic. In machine learning and other places also you will find it most widely used these two regression, that is linear and logistic. We will also see polynomial regression. The other regressions are like stepwise, ridge, lasso. All these are there in that book which I have said. You can go through that book. That is hands on, have I said you hands on machine learning using scikit-learn and tensorflow?
We
No.
just okay.
Okay, I'll share that. You will find the other regressions there. Okay, so you can go through that, or else like that practical statistics for data science. There also you will find these all regressions models. But most widely used are linear, logistic, and polynomial, like which you come across most of the time are linear, logistic, and polynomial. These all we are going to practice, and we'll see how actually this works. So now regression. Just to recap, is nothing but a predictive modeling technique. It's a predictive modeling technique which investigates the relationship between independent and dependent variable. That is nothing but x and y. So here we will try to find out how x and y are related with one another. Thereby we can also predict the values. Now here, see always these things to understand this regression. Suppose here. I'll just take one example. Okay, suppose here I will say x equal to 1, that time y is also equals 1. Similarly, when x equals 2, y equals 4. When x equals 3, y equals 9. Okay, similarly, when x equals 4, y is 16. Okay, like that. So now when x equals 5, what is the y? Okay, so now here this is a scenario where you can see here I'm saying when x is 1, y is 1. When x is 2, y is 4. When x is 3, y is 9. When x is 4, y is 16. Now when x is 5, what is going to be the y? Okay, so what do you think will be the output when x is 5 in this kind of scenario? Okay, what do you think will be the output here?
25.
Yeah, it will be 25. So now, how did you figure out that it will be 25? Because you already know that the relationship between x and y is nothing but square. So there is a function in between them, okay, using which you are able to find out this. So you can say, okay, y equal to f of x. So a function is there which is mapping x with y. So that function is nothing but square here. So you already know that, okay, this is how x and y is related here. So you can easily predict by saying, okay, this might be the function here, and based on that you are saying, okay, if this is the x, this is going to be the y. So now here in regression also, it's like here also we usually use a type of function, and that function will be helpful to map x with y. So that function will be used to map your x with y. And here the main role in regression, the main job in regression is to find the approximate function, like to use a right kind of function here between x and y, which can map your x and y, okay, very accurately, like where you will be able to map it to a higher accuracy. So that's where we have to find a function, we have to use a function which can map our x with y. So now here like in regression there are different types of regression as we see here. So all these types of regressions are used for different functions, different purpose. Now all this regression has their own like functions or equations which will be mapping your x and y here, and based on the type of data we will use one or the other regression, okay, based on the type of data. So now here, first we are going to start up with linear regression. Then we will move ahead with the logistic and all. Okay. So now any doubt is there in this? Okay.
No, no doubt.
Okay. So now see here to start up with first regression, that is linear regression. First we are going to look into linear regression. Now see this linear regression is of two types. Linear regression is divided into two types. One is called as simple linear regression. The other one is called as multiple linear regression. That simple linear regression is also sometimes called as univariate linear regression. Now univariate means like when you have one variable. Uni means one. So when you have single variable, that means when you have single independent variable and you have one dependent variable, that will be your simple linear regression. It's also called as univariate linear regression. Like suppose to figure out, okay, what is the relationship between marketing and sales. So now suppose sales is your dependent variable, you want to study sales based on marketing. So now here your sales is the dependent variable and marketing is your independent variable. So now here we have one single independent variable. So those kind of things you can study using univariate linear regression or simple linear regression. Similarly, you have one more that is called as multivariate or multiple linear regression. Multivariate will be like when you have more than one factor, like in sales and marketing. Like if you say, okay, like one is your like a marketing, the other one is saying the market conditions and all, okay, like some other factors you have, okay, apart from marketing. So those kind of thing you can put into multiple linear regression. So now multiple linear regression is where you have more than one independent variable. Simple linear regression is where you have only one independent variable. Now first we are going to look into simple linear regression, then we will see a multiple later on. So now simple linear regression estimates exactly how much y will change, that is how much dependent variable will change when x changes, like when your independent variable changes by a certain amount. So with the correlation coefficient, the variable x and y are interchangeable. With regression, we are trying to predict the y variable from x using a linear relationship. So now this relationship is called as line equation. So now using this equation, we have to map x with y. Like as I told you, okay, we have a function in between x and y. By using certain kind of function, we are able to map what will be the y for a given x. So similarly here in regression equation, this is simple linear regression equation. This is given as y equal to mx plus c, or you can tell it as y equal to b naught plus b1x. Now see in different books you have different notations here. Like in some places you might see it like uh, some places it will be y equal to b naught plus b1x. In some places it will be y equal to mx plus c. In some books it will be y equal to a plus bx. So now like different notations will be there, okay, in different books. Some places it will be y equal to theta 0 plus theta 1x, like that. Different notations are there. So now this is nothing but this is also called as line equation. You might have studied this earlier in schools and all. This is a line equation. Now this is the equation which is used behind this simple linear regression. Now here like you can see that b naught plus b1x or mx plus c or a plus bx, everywhere there is one value associated with x, the other one is added, okay, to that existing equation. So now here whatever is already associated with x, that is called as slope, that is the slope of a line, and the other part is called as intercept. So now in this equation, like y equal to b naught plus b1x, okay, b1 is your slope here, that is the slope of the line, and b naught is called as intercept of the line here. Similarly, if you say y equal to mx plus c, then m will be the slope and c will be the intercept. Now this is nothing but this is your like line equation where we have one slope and one this one intercept. Now see simple linear regression, as the name suggests that linear, okay, so as the name tells it is linear, so simple linear regression. So now this kind of regression is used only when your dependent and independent variable are continuous. Okay, mostly you can say only when your dependent variable is continuous. Now here we have to see when the x value is changing, like at what amount y is also changing, okay, which is continuous. So here your value, like if you plot your x and y in a graph, okay, if you put your x and y in x axis and y axis, both should be linear to one another. The relationship between them should be linear. Now if you see this graph, the screen, so now here you can see these dotted points are there. So these dotted points which you see are nothing but the data points. So now here you can see like when x is increasing, y is also increasing, so there is a linearity between them. So it's like x and y are linearly correlated with one another. So when you see your data being linearly correlated, like when you plot it in your scatter plot, and you see like your data is linearly correlated, means when x is changing, y is also changing, and your data is continuous, that means your dependent variable is continuous, then you can go ahead with a linear regression. Okay, so are you getting this point? Are you getting?
Yes.
Okay, now see, here to understand the relationship between the datas. Okay, we usually plot it in scatter plot. So scatter plot is used to find out the correlation among the data, like how things are correlated with one another. Now here there are the different types of correlation which you might come across. So now this linear regression is only used when your correlation is like linear. Now here like you can see there are different types of correlation. One is your called as negative linear correlation. Negative linear correlation means when x increases, y will be decreasing. So first one which you see, first graph, that is nothing but that is your negative linear. Next one is positive linear. Positive linear is when x increases, y also increases in the same aspect. And the other one you can see no correlation is there, and one more is non-linear correlation is there. Now to understand this correlation with respect to numbers, see usually in statistics everything you map with numbers to figure out, okay, like how strong the relationship is or how weak the relationship is. Simply by looking at graph we don't derive to conclusions here, so we have to look into the look into some kind of numbers to understand, okay, how strong the relationship is. Now here to understand the number behind the relationship, we have something called as correlation coefficient. So there is something called as correlation coefficient, which is also called as Pearson's correlation coefficient, and it's denoted by small r. So we write it as a small r. It's also called as Pearson's correlation coefficient. Now, correlation, to understand correlation is nothing but it's used to denote the association between two quantitative variable. Like when you have two continuous data, quantitative means continuous. So when you have two continuous data and you want to check the relationship between them, you can figure out the relationship by using correlation coefficient. Now, correlation coefficient is measured on a scale of +1 to -1. So it's on a scale of +1 to -1. So now here plus like positive, like if there is a positive linear correlation, it will be around plus like positive value. If it is a negative linear correlation, it will be negative. Now, as you saw the graph like which I was showing you here, that is these types of correlation. You can see the first one is negative linear correlation. So here your correlation coefficient, that is your small r, will give you a negative value, saying there is negative linear correlation. Similarly, positive linear correlation, you will get a positive value. Also, this value is given within 0 to +1 or 0 to -1. So if it is a positive linear correlation, it will tell you how much positivity is there, like 0 to +1, saying okay 70, like 0.7 or 0.8 or 0.9 or 1.0. 1.0 means like it's completely linear with one another, and like positively linear with one another. Similarly, here you have to see how much positivity is there or negativity is there, those kind of thing. Or your data can be scattered, like if you see the third graph, your data is scattered. In this kind of scenario, your value will be very near to zero. Your r value, that is your small r correlation coefficient value, will be very near to zero. Also, when there is no correlation, also in those kind of scenario, you will have like r very near to zero. So now using this correlation coefficient, we can find out, okay, what kind of relationship is there. Is it positive or is it negative, or is there no correlation? Now this correlation coefficient can be measured in NumPy, okay, in a scientific way by using NumPy package. So NumPy has a function called as correlation coefficient, that is CORR COEF. So now using this particular function, that is CORR COEF, correlation coefficient, you can find out, okay, how your two continuous data are related with one another, or two quantitative data are related with one another. So once you feel like, okay, there is a good relationship, okay, a good linear relationship among your x and y, then you can go ahead with linear regression. If you find the relationship to be linear, then you can go ahead with linear regression. Are you getting this? Are you guys getting this?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now see in this graph also, if you see here, like these dotted points are our data points. So when x is increasing, here we can see our y is also increasing. So we will say, okay, there is a positive linear correlation here. To map this, we can map it with correlation coefficient or small r, okay, which will give us some positive value here. So now in this kind of scenario, we'll be using this regression equation, and here by using this regression equation, it will give us b naught plus b1. That is nothing but b1 is our slope and b naught is our intercept here. So it will tell us how it will map your x with y by using this line equation, that is b naught plus b1. So it will give you a slope and it will give you an intercept. Now this slope and intercept will decide the relationship between your x and y. So it will give you a new value here, that is a new y value here. Okay, by using this slope you will find a new value that is called as predictive value. Now if you see this line which we have here, so in this line you can see there is a slope and like there is an intercept. So now here like b naught is intercept and b1 is our slope here. So this line is nothing but it's a collection of all predicted data points. So this line is nothing but collection of points. So now each of these points are nothing but these are predicted data points. Now there are certain observed data points. If you see those dotted points, like circled dotted points, those are observed data points. And this line, whatever we are having here, that is called as predicted line, or this line has all predicted data points. This line is also called as best fit line. So using this equation, we will find this line, and this line will decide how good the relationship is between your x and y. So this line is used to predict your values. Like if somebody gives you a new x value, you will tell the y value for the same by using this line only. So this line, if you see, it always goes within your data points. Like it will be where your data point is highly correlated, in between them only this line will go. So this line always intersects within the mean of x and y. So that is nothing but the average value of x and y. So it will always be going within your the average within the center of the data points. So now here to find out this line, we have to first find out b1, that is slope. Then we have to find out b naught, that is the intercept, by using different certain equations. And once we are able to find out a line, we'll be also measuring something called as error. Now here, as I told you, that this line is nothing but a predicted line, or this is also called as regression line, or this is also called as best fit line. So this is what line you are fitting to your equation. So this is something which you are predicting on top of your data. Now as you can see, like you have predicted certain datas, but the actual datas are little bit different. So now if you look closely here, now if you see here, like this is the actual data, this one is the actual data, and this line has the predicted data somewhere here. Now if you see, there is a gap between the predicted data and the actual data. So now this gap is nothing but this is called as error. Okay, so that means there is some kind of error within the model, because here whatever line we are predicting is little bit far away from the actual data point. So that will be called as error. So now here, if your data has lot of error, that means your accuracy will not be good. That means you are not able to find out a very good relationship between x and y. So whatever you are trying to predict might not be that much accurate, because there are lot of errors. If you have less errors within your model, then your model will be highly accurate. So here one major goal in regression is to reduce as much error as you can. So one major thing is to reduce those error. Like how do you reduce those error? There are different techniques which we are going to see, which will help you out to increase the accuracy of the model. So if you have less error, means you are able to find a best fit line which is very close to your actual data points. Okay, so now you are getting till this.
Yes.
Okay, so now here this regression equation is nothing but y equal to b naught plus b1 x. The fitted value or the predicted value or the line you get is called as predicted data. Like whatever data like you predict, that is called as predicted data point. It's usually written as y cap. You can see there is a hat, means like on top of y there is a hat. It's denoted like that, like y hat, or we call it as y cap. So that is nothing but the predicted data equal to predicted b naught plus predicted b1 on the given x1. So that's what is our predicted data represented like this. Also, sometime you will find people representing a predicted data as y underscore pred, that is y pred equal to b naught plus b1x. So now this we are getting some predicted data, and we have some observed data. Now the difference between the observed value and the predicted value, or you can call the difference between the observed value and the fitted value, is residual or error. So the difference between them is called as residual or error. Like we saw in that line, there is some actual data point, that is the observed y, and we are predicting some data points on the line. So the distance between them is called as error, or it's called as residual. So it's written as E equal to y minus y pred, that is observed minus predicted. Okay, so that is called as your error. So sometimes also in regression equation, we add up error to the equation to study from errors. Okay, to again train the model on errors. Sometime we will see, like sometime we will be also adding up error to our equation to figure out more on the data. Okay, so this is what is our regression like equation looks like. Now this is very important. In any interview you go, usually they ask like what is the regression equation, okay, and like how do you find out slope and intercept. So those things also we are going to see here. Now here this here y is nothing but your dependent variable. Here in the like in machine learning, dependent variables are also called as your targets, and these independent variables are also called as features. So that's what I have mentioned here. Okay, so now here first thing is we are going to take some data, some imaginary data. Then we will work around on those data by using this equation. We will first find out the predicted value for that by using b1 and b0. By finding out a slope and intercept, we will find a predicted data point. Then we will see how much error is there within the model, and we will then calculate the accuracy and other things of the model. So now to start up with this, okay, here I have taken one like small example. So now in this example, like this is just I have taken some imaginary values here saying x and y. So here I have taken some x as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some x values, and the corresponding y values for those I have taken as 3, 4, 2, 4, 5, like that I have taken some y values. Now here first thing to find out is your slope. So I have taken this equation, that is y equal to mx plus c. So here m is nothing but slope. Whatever is associated with your x is slope, the other one is intercept, that is c is intercept here. Now to find out this slope formula is given as summation of x minus x mean into y minus y mean divided by x minus x mean whole square. Okay, this is the equation which is used to find out the slope. So using this you will find out the slope. Then once you find, so like slope is nothing but the rate of change in y divided by rate of change in x. So you can tell that rate of change in y divided by rate of change in x. So that means like at what amount your y is changing when you are changing the x. So that is given as summation of x minus x mean into y minus y mean divided by x minus x mean whole square. Now see, in some of the local books you might find that this formula, what they do usually in some local publishers, what they will do, like x minus x mean whole square is there, and at the top also x minus x mean is there. So they will negate the top part saying okay, x minus x mean can be negated, but actually it is wrong. Okay, you should not negate, because here we have a summation in our equation, so you cannot simply cut the values here. So we have to take exactly this equation saying x minus summation of x minus x mean into y minus y mean divided by x minus x mean whole square. So this will tell you the slope of the value. Now once you find out this slope, then you can find out the intercept. So intercept will be like slope you have already found. So intercept will be here, that is your c will be y minus mx. So that will be y minus mx here. So y minus mx means you have to take y mean and x mean here to find out the c value, that is the intercept value. So why we are taking the mean? As I already told you that both the here the line which you are trying to find out, that goes through the mean of x and y. So earlier in this also, like if you see this picture, here also you can see at the center we have x mean and y mean. So this line has to cross within x mean and y mean. So you can see this dotted line here, okay, which is crossing within the mean of x and y. So that's where within the average or center it has to pass. That's where we take this equation as c equal to y mean minus m of x mean. Okay, so now you can write down these formulas in a sheet. Okay, get a sheet, write down this formula, then you try to calculate, okay, what is the m and c for that. Okay, here I have already calculated, but try to do it of your own, okay, just for practice, so that you will understand, okay, how it is able to figure out the values. So just take a pen and paper, okay, and note down these equations. That is y equal to mx plus c, where m is slope and c is intercept. Then m formula you can note down and c formula you can note down, and find out m and c. Okay, without looking at this how I am solving that. Okay, without looking at that, just note down the x and y values, then figure out what is m and c. Okay, so can you do that?
Yes.
Okay, so just try this.
suppose I consider x equal to 4, y equal to 4, then to get the c, y minus mx.
Yes, y minus mx, but here you have to take y mean minus m of x mean. So c equal to mean of y minus m into mean of x. That is the formula.
Okay.
So y mean minus m into x mean. So you will get only one intercept. Here you will get only one intercept and one slope. That is one single line we are predicting. One intercept and one slope. Okay, any doubt is there? Are you able to get this? Okay, do it by your own and see what m value you are getting, what c value you are getting.
The x bar which we get here is like summation of x by numbers, right?
Yes, yes. X bar is nothing but mean of x. That is nothing but summation of all the value divided by total number of value.
So here x is 15. 15 divided by 5.
Yes.
So 3. Okay. Then x minus x. Okay.
X minus x mean into y minus y mean divided by x minus x mean whole square.
Yes, understood. Yeah, I got the values.
Okay. So m is 0.4, c 2.4. That's what you're getting,
2.4.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so now you find the predicted value for each of the x. You can find the predicted value for each of the x. So that means like when x is 1, what is y pred? When x is 2, what is y pred? Like that, find the predicted values for each of the given x values.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. So yeah, got it.
So you got all the values for your x values, so predicted y values. You got predicted y for x1, x2, x3, x4, x5.
Yes.
Okay, so then you calculate the error. Error is given as y minus y pred. Error is given as y minus y pred. Calculate the errors for each of the value.
Y minus.
Y pred.
Like in first case, y minus y bar is there. So minus 0 means whatever y value we have got. Hello.
Y minus y pred. Error is given as y minus y predicted value. Y pred. That means your observed y is, say actual observed y is 3 when x is 1. But predicted y is what you have predicted for x1. What is your predicted value for x1?
It's 2.8.
2.8. So error is 3 minus 2.8.
Okay.
Getting error
Yes.
is 3
Got
minus
it.
2.8. That means observed minus predicted. So there is a difference between observed minus predicted, and that difference is 0.2.
Okay.
Getting it?
Yes,
So like
I
that, errors for each of the points.
Okay.
Can you go back?
So how we will apply this thing in real time? Like we need, after getting a data, we need to prepare like this.
Yeah, see, in real time, actually, we are going to practice, but in real time, you have ready-made functions where you will not get to see all these things. So here to understand what it's
Okay.
trying to do, for that we are doing all these things. Okay, so like where your data is linear with one another, it's trying to find the relation. It's trying to find a line which which describes the data in a linear way, okay, through which we can also predict the values, saying okay how good the relationship is. If we are able to understand that relationship in a better way, we can also easily predict the values. That's what we are doing here. In real time you just have ready-made functions, you don't get to see all this.
So directly we will get the C value and we can predict this is the error, the difference, everything.
Actually, what happens in that, directly you will use something called as machine learning packages are there. Like package name is linear regression. You will say, okay, package name is linear regression. Then regression dot fit. You will fit and pass your x and y. So it will say model dot fit, pass your x and y value. It will do all these things. It will find out what is B naught, B1, everything in that. Okay, you will not get to see all those things, and then it will give you some predicted value. Like on given x value, it will give you some predicted value, and it will also tell how accurate it is. Those things it will tell. Okay, in any algorithm, you will do like that. It's like same in all the algorithm. The way you use the algorithm will be same, but what's there behind the algorithm, that's what we are trying to see here. Okay, it will be different for all kind of algorithm. Now linear regression is one type of algorithm. So the algorithm behind it is, that is y equal to b naught plus b1x, then you have to find out b1, then you can find out the b naught, that is slope and intercept. When your data is linear, you are trying to find out a line between them, and that is your that is by using slope and intercept. Now when you have found the line, that line is having all fitted values, that is your predicted values. Now you are checking whatever you have predicted, how good it is with respect to the observed. So that is what error is telling us. So error, if there is lot of errors, okay, in all the data points, that means prediction is not good. So now here, anyways, you have got certain errors within your data. So what all errors you have got? Have you done all the error calculations?
So all the errors I mean why I have got.
Yeah.
Then further,
For the first one, you would have got 0.2, right?
yes, for first one,
Second one,
0.8, then minus 1.6, then 0 it has come for 4, then 0.6.
yeah. So here you can see there is no error at only one single point. At all the other points, there is some bit of error, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now here overall there is error. You can see lot of errors are there in most of the point. Only one point it has predicted with 100% accuracy. That is your fourth point. Like when x is 4, y is also 4. That's what it has predicted correctly. Other points there is some bit of error. Now to quantify like what is the total amount of error which is accumulated within the data, we can check that by using something called as cost function. So we are going to study all those things. Okay, now here anyways, like basic understanding you are getting what is regression line. Okay, what are those errors, are you getting those?
Yes.
Okay, Abhay, you are also getting?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so now these are like you can say, okay, like on the line we have all the predicted data points, that is our red colors. If you see this graph, all the red color data points are predicted data points, that is on the line, and the actual data points are gray color data points. So there is a difference between them, there is some kind of distance between them, and those distances are nothing but errors. Now first here to evaluate our model here, first we will see how to evaluate our model. That is now suppose somebody gives you this data and you have to figure out, okay, how accurate your model is. So how accurate means how good your model has like found the fitted value. So here we need some kind of justification saying, okay, like model is able to predict the value with 80% accuracy or 20% accuracy or 100% accuracy. So we need some kind of justification. So now that is called as model evaluation. So that technique is called as model evaluation. Now evaluating the model. So here in linear regression, you can evaluate your model by finding out something called as R square. Okay, so you can use this R square, and this R square is used to evaluate your model. Like this will tell you how close your best fit line or how close your regression line is to the observed data point. Like how close it is to the observed data point. That's what it will give you. Usually in machine learning way, they call it as accuracy. In machine learning language, they call it as accuracy. So in machine learning packages, there is something like you will call score. You will check the score by using score function. Internally, it will calculate R square there, and it will find out how close the regression line is towards the data. Now, if it is very close and if it is very like near to the observed data points, then your accuracy will be high. If it is far, then your accuracy will be low. So now this is a way to justify, okay, how good your model has performed. So that is nothing but it's a evaluation technique. It's also called as model evaluation technique. You can find out, you can evaluate your model by using this R square score. It's also called as R square score. So now to check this R square, so R square is a statistical measure of how close the data are to the fitted regression line. R square is a measure of accuracy of our linear model. So it will tell you how accurate your model is. Okay, like overall, you can quantify this with R square. Now, see, R square has got two types of formulas in some of the book. Okay, so here statistics, one more important thing is just looking at equations. Okay, don't come to conclusions because here those equations might mean different things. Okay, now if you see here, like there is something called as like R square. Okay, in some books you will find the formula for this is SSR divided by SST. Okay, so some of the books formula is SSR divided by SST. In some of the books, R square will be like your S1 minus, it will be 1 minus SSR divided by SST. Okay, in some of the books it will be like this. So now here people usually get confused saying, okay, I had read that R square is SSR by SST, and here in this book it says R square equal to 1 minus SSR by SST. Now see, R square always gives you value within R square will always give you values within 0 to 1. Okay, so 0 means 0% accurate, 1 means 100% accurate. Okay, like it's highly close, like 1 means it's highly close to the regression, like to the observed data point. 0 means it's very far away, so accuracy will be less. So now always it ranges between this. And now when you are doing 1 minus SSR by SST, you might feel like, okay, it's completely opposite. Suppose I'm getting 60% in one equation, the other equation 1 minus 60, I'm getting 40%. So it's like both are contradictory. Okay, so here in this kind of scenario, try to first understand like what's that equation mean. So here, like first R square, here SSR, whatever is there. Okay, so SSR in this case is nothing but it's called as sum of square of regressor. So this SSR is sum of square of regressor. Okay, so this is sum of square of regressor, and SST in this case is sum of square of total. Okay, so it's called as sum of square of total. Okay, so now sum of square of regressor means, okay, how sum of square of regressor means how your predicted data point is different from the average. Okay, so sum of square, we have already seen sum of square like x minus x mean whole square, summation of x minus x mean whole square, that is in variance. We have already seen sum of square in this one also, that is while calculating our ANOVA, that time also I told you about sum of square. So here this formula also is given by sum of square of regressor divided by sum of square of total. So sum of square of regressor in this case is summation of y pred minus y mean whole square. Sum of square of total is summation of y minus y mean whole square. So sum of square of regressor tells you how your predicted data points are different from the average, and sum of square of total tells you how your observed data points are different from the average. So ratio of those will tell you, okay, like what is the R square or what is the accuracy of the model. Okay, so that is what is sum of square of regressor by sum of square of total. So this part you are getting. Are you getting this part?
So we need to follow this art, means this 1 minus.
No, see, you can follow any one. Okay, I'll tell you the other one. So when you have 1 minus SSR by SST, that means here SSR is nothing but sum of square of residual. Okay, this is sum of square of residual. Okay, both will give you exactly same value. And here SST in this case is sum of square of total. Okay, so this is also sum of square of total. Okay, so here like SSR by SST is sum of square of aggressor by sum of square of total, and 1 minus SSR by SST is sum of square of residual divided by sum of square of total. Okay, so this is
This is
your
the difference.
this is the difference between them. Now see, if you go to interview also, they might ask you what is the R square. How do you find out that? You can tell, okay, it's the ratio between your regressor, sum of square of regressor by sum of square of total, or 1 minus sum of square of residual by sum of square of total. So here you when you are telling the equation like 1 minus SSR by SST or SSR by SST, you need to be specific. Okay, and you can tell both the equation, because see, in some places no interviewer might not know that okay 1 minus SSR by SST is also there. That interviewer might only know that SSR by SST is there, or vice versa. So in those kind of situation, okay, you have to tell that okay this is how the actual thing is. Okay, so it is like if it is SSR by SST, that means we are trying to find out how regressor values are, how predicted values are different from the average divided by how actual values are different from the average. That is nothing but sum of square of regressor divided by sum of square of total. The other one is 1 minus SSR by SST. Now what is residual? Residual is given by, what is the residual formula? What is the residual formula?
I forgot.
That is y minus y pred, right? We just did now. E equal to y minus y pred. You just calculated just now, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
That is
Error calculation formula.
Error.
yeah, error. That is called as residual. Okay, error is also called as residuals. So now here residual is calculated as y minus y pred minus, sorry, y minus y pred. So we calculated it as y minus y pred. So here sum of square of residual means summation of y minus y pred whole square. That is sum of square of residual. So summation of your error whole square. Okay, that is summation of y minus y pred whole square divided by sum of square of total, that is summation of x minus x mean whole square. Okay, so that is what the equation is. So now you are getting both the equations.
Yes.
Okay, so next here we can use those equation to calculate our line, like how good our model has performed, what's the accuracy behind it. We can find out by calculating those equations. So here I have taken R square equal to SSR by SST. So SSR by SST will be sum of square of regressor divided by sum of square of total. So here to find out sum of square of regressor divided by sum of square of total, formula is summation of y pred minus y mean whole square, that is sum of square of regressor, divided by summation of y minus y mean whole square, that is sum of square of total. Using that, here I have found that R square equal to 1.6 divided by 5.2. So you can just note down this. Okay, no need to write everything. You can just note down this equation, and you can note down R square equal to 1.6 by 5.2 and find out what is the R square here.
It will come in 0.00 something.
Just calculate. Not 0.00. It will be somewhere like a 0.3 or something like that.
Zero 0.3.
Okay, so 0.3, that means only 30%. So we are getting here only 30%. That's the accuracy of the model. That's the score of the model. So only like you can say, okay, it's nearer to our observed data point only at 30%. So that means it's not good at all. Okay, it's very, very bad. So now here anyways, we also saw that so many errors are there. It's only able to predict one data point. So it's not that much accurate.
Suppose this is not accurate, then what is the next step? Like how to like what is the like uh,
There are various
say,
ways to increase the regression accuracy. We will discuss it. Going ahead, we will discuss all the strategies, what are the different ways.
okay.
Now you are able to get this part.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we understood by just working around with the algorithm. So now this is what is called as linear regression algorithm. Okay, this is one algorithm. So here that algorithm will try to find out a line using the equation, that is y equal to b naught plus b1 x. Then using that equation first, this b naught and b1 are also called as coefficients. So it will try to find out the coefficient. So that is, first it will find out b1, that is slope. Slope is given by the formula summation of x minus x mean into y minus y mean divided by x minus summation of x minus x mean whole square. Then it will find out your b naught, that is intercept, that is y minus mean of y minus b1 into mean of x. Okay, it will find out intercept. Then it will calculate the errors within them, and that error will be evaluated by using r square. So like how good your model has performed by using the error and the actual values, will be calculating the r square. So r square is given by 1 minus ssr by sst, where ssr is sum of square of residual by sum of square of total, and the other one is SSR by SST, R square equal to SSR by SST, where it is sum of square of regressor by sum of square of total. So now sum of square of regressor by sum of square of total is nothing but it will tell you how your predicted values are different from different from the average, and how your actual values are different from the average. So it will give you a ratio of how both of the thing are related with respect to the average, and based on that we can find out what is the score. Similarly, we can also find out by 1 minus ssr by sst, that is sum of square of residual. So that is how much error is accumulated within the model, divided by the observed data point from how different is your observed data point from the mean, that is from the average. So that is 1 minus ssr by sst. Okay, if you use 1 minus ssr by sst or ssr by sst, both will give you same result only here in this case. So now this is how you evaluate your model. Now the same thing we are going to one more thing is there, that is called as mean squared error. Now here this mean squared error is also called as cost function. So this is also called as cost function of the model. So now this mean square error will is used to justify the entire error, like what is the actual error accumulated. So now error is given as y minus y period whole square. So mean squared error means if you take the square of the value, what is the average of that? That is called as mean of squared errors. So that is y minus y period summation of y minus y period whole square divided by n. That is the average. Okay, so that will give you the mean of the squared error. So this is used to justify, okay, what is the error which is there. Okay, like overall you have lot many values, what is the amount of error which is accumulated within your data. Okay, just to justify some value, we have this mean squared error, which is called as cost function. Now main goal of the regression is to reduce this cost function. This is the most important goal in regression. Now to take this example of a cost function, now cost function is nothing but this is your error. So now to understand this, like suppose to take one example, suppose one small kid is sitting in front of a fire. Okay, a small kid is sitting in front of a fire, and that kid doesn't know okay, like how harmful is fire to him. Okay, he has no idea about the fire. So he goes to the fire and like first time when he looks at the fire, he will go and put his finger inside the fire. So in this case, what happens is his finger will burn. Okay. So now next time he will think that, okay, I should maintain some kind of distance from the fire. Okay. So he will maintain some kind of distance from the fire. Then again his body will start heating up. So he will know, okay, this is not the right kind of distance. So I have to maintain some more distance from the fire. So now here the kid is learning from learning from mistakes. So here the heat from the fire is costing him something. So that heat from the fire is called as cost function here, and that kid is trying to reduce that cost function, okay, by going away from the fire, going away from the heat. So that is nothing but he is trying to reduce the cost function. So similarly here also in this case our cost function is mean squared error. So in our case our cost function is mean squared error, which is telling us, okay, how much error is there within the model, and our main goal is to reduce this cost function, that is reduce this error which is costing something to our model. Okay, so we have to reduce that error. Okay, you are getting? So how do we reduce that? We'll be using some kind of algorithm for this, which will be helping out to reduce. There are other strategies also. We'll be looking into those strategies to reduce the error. Are you getting?
Yes.
Okay, so this is next like we will keep it till this. Okay, next class we will do a full study by taking one data set, and we will study that entire data set using linear regression. And this study will be doing in an ordinary way, that is how we did just now. Okay, just by taking the equations. Similarly, we will put those equations in Python, and we will see, okay, like how Python is able to find out mean squared error. Also we'll calculate R square. We will also calculate all B0, B1, everything we will do in the ordinary way. It's also called as ordinary least mean square method, where we are taking the list mean values and all, and we are finding out the relationship between X and Y. So we'll do it in an ordinary way by taking the equations. But again, in real time you will not be doing like that. In real time you will have you will be using ready-made package which are available in machine learning. So after this we will do the same thing using machine learning, and we'll see what's the difference between the way we are doing and the way machine learning packages are doing. So now here using machine learning you don't get to see any of these equations or formulas. Okay, in any machine learning algorithm you will just call the algorithm name, then you will try to fit that algorithm to your data set. Then you will check the score by using the function score, and you will predict the value by using the function predict. So now this is like very simple. In machine learning you don't get to see what's there. Like any kind of algorithm you use, the same thing you have to do, like call the function name, then fit the model, then check the score, then predict. So that's what you will be doing in machine learning packages. But here, to understand the in-depth knowledge behind the algorithm, we are doing all these things. Okay. Okay, so we'll wind up here, and next class we are going to continue by taking one data set and practicing on that.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll wind up.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.